Hey, chatters. I saw this today and I stopped and enjoyed it. And I made that decision to stop and enjoy certain moments, even if they are small, years ago after going through a traumatic experience. So I shared with you all quite some time ago that I started my podcast years ago, and it's focused around grow, know, and show. And I've been thinking of ways to share this with you all. So from time to time, you might see these mental moments come up, and we will have conversations for members only, for those that are interested in spirituality and growth and learning to overcome our traumas. In those lives, I will discuss my licensures and my personal experiences and podcast episodes and what I do and how important my spirituality and being positive changed my life, saved my life. So in regards to the topic, do we project onto our friends and family? It literally took a child to bring this to my attention. So when I went through a situation years ago, and for the life of me, my chatters, this particular year, I couldn't understand why I experienced so much loss, traumatic, unexpected loss, some of the most closest people to me, and I was broken. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to turn to. I wasn't myself. I didn't want to get dressed. It was just hit after hit, and I didn't know what to do. I reached an all-time low. And throughout that time, I still had my child, of course, naturally, because we're parents. And as parents, regardless of what we go through, we still have to take care of our offspring. And I remember it was one particular day and I had it bad. And I took my child to school. And upon return, my child looked at me and said, "Mommy, I'm not happy because you're not happy anymore. You're not the same, and I don't like it." And I had to hold back so many tears, my chatters, and I took my child and I hugged my child so close, because it was in that moment that I realized that I was projecting onto my child unknowingly. And I knew that that came from past issues and past traumas, because you see, when my mother, at age 9, when she was sick with cancer, breast cancer to be exact, I wasn't allowed to see her until the day that she passed away. My family took me and allowed me to go to the hospital because it was time. I learned more about that story, in which I'll share in our private conversations. But my mother made the decision, that I heard later, that despite being sick and diagnosed when I was 7, she kept that from me. She hid that from me. She didn't want to tell her child what she was going through. So I wasn't allowed those moments with her in her illness. My child sharing with me that I wasn't happy, it prompted more conversations, because this is what I do with my community and my tribe and with those closest to me. And I began to have conversations in which a friend shared with me that, and they allowed me to share this, I'll never do so without permission, shared the reason why they keep so many beverages in their home is because as a child, they oftentimes would not have anything to drink. And we are our parents' traumas. We are our parents' failures, and we can project that onto our offspring if we don't correct it, if we don't acknowledge it. So it took my child to have these deeper conversations, and for me to understand that my energy is also her energy. And although I thought that I was shielding her from what was going on, she was way more in tuned than what I thought. I was naive in that moment. And that's what happens oftentimes in our family and friends and dealing with our children. We might think that they are naive, but they are watching us. They see the change in our energy. They see the change in our patterns. When they ask us a question, we might answer it with malice, or some might answer it with yelling, or some might not engage with their children when they are going through certain situations. But we need to realize that our children know, our friends know, and our family know, and we project that onto them. So we are doing ourselves and those closest to us a major disservice by not being transparent. When I went through my experience and my change and starting my podcast and other things that I'll share, with my members. And again, this isn't for everyone, and that's why I don't want to make it for everyone, because let's face it, everyone is into something different, and that's what makes us individuals, and we need to celebrate the individuality of others. But I did this, and I started having these conversations because it feels good at times to know that you're not alone. But oftentimes we project onto our children, we project onto our family and friends. So I made it a mission years ago, after sharing my traumas and things that I went through. If I'm not in a good space, I'm going to have to tell someone that. If someone says something that disrupts me in my personal life, I have to tell them I'm not in a space to receive it. If I have a situation in my personal life in which I'm speaking to someone that's relatively close to me and I need to unload, prior to me doing so, I ask them, are you in a space to receive this message? Because guess what? Someone can be having an amazing day, but when you call and you project onto them without asking permission, you have now projected and altered their day. We owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to one another to try to be better. Because let's face it, none of us are perfect. We're all just figuring this thing out. Some choose to grow, know, and show, like I share with my podcast audience and those in my clients, and others just choose to just simply show. Some choose to just show a happy image. Some choose to just show that I'm together. But without growing and without knowing better, you are simply just putting on makeup and dressing up trash. I can put lipstick on a trash bag, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be a trash bag. So I thank you all for this mental moment and giving you a glimpse of what I've done with my podcast for the past 3 years. And I hope that we all can grow, know, and show. And for more intimate conversations, I will be having my private lives for those too that are also on their journey and are looking to grow at the end of the day. No one's exempt from pain, but we can grow from it. I wish you all well. Love, light, strength, and kindness to all. Until next time, make sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. And follow me on Facebook for daily motivation at Chatty Cathy. Simply search for the pink tongue. I'm not too hard to find.